Hi everyone, and welcome to Paper Pumpkin Week here on Creative Chelsey. Thanks for joining me today as I continue to share some beautiful card ideas you can make with the March 2025 Paper Pumpkin Kit called Daisy Daydream. Here's a quick peek at the original cards from the kit. If you'd like to watch me unbox the kit and create these cards, or see any of my other alternatives, you can click on the playlist in the top right corner. This is the second set of alternative card ideas I will be sharing with you this week. These two cards use the blue envelope as accent to the bright yellow pieces from the kit to create stunning cards. I love the little details on these cards and can't wait to share how I made them with you. If you are new to my channel and would like to continue to see all of my paper pumpkin alternatives, make sure to subscribe using the link in the bottom right corner. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you're interested in getting your own paper pumpkin subscription, please use the link in the description below to subscribe. My subscribers receive an exclusive card kit designed by me with everything they need to make 2 more beautiful cards with the stamp set and ink spot from that month's kit. We gather together once a month on Zoom to make the card and have fun together. I would love to have you join me. Make sure to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin and list me as your demonstrator or use the link below. Let's go ahead and begin with cutting some of the pieces from the kit. We're going to start with this card base. This is the leftover piece from yesterday's projects. It had the flowers on the front. So if you're looking for that, that's what you're kind of looking for. We're going to cut this down to 4 inches by 5 1/4 and make sure to remove the score line. So this middle section that I removed has that score line on it. I don't want that on my card. So I'm going to end up with a piece like this. So that's for that card. We are going to need to have this piece, and we're going to use it for both of our cards, but there's no cutting involved. And then we need the blue envelope. Let's go ahead and just begin to open this up by removing a small section on all of the folded edges. So I cut off the bottom and then just trim off the 3 sides as well. And we're going to begin by cutting this section. Let's trim off the top flap. And then we're going to cut this section to 2 inches. So on the left with the flower on the left side, you're going to cut 2 inches and then 3 inches. Okay. And we're going to use this piece for our card. And then we also need to have a piece for the back of our circle. So let me just measure that really quickly so we know how big to cut. And that's about 3 inches as well. And let's cut that from the back of our envelope. So this is the one on the back side. And I'm going to just begin by cutting this area off at 3 inches and then rotate and cut again at 3 inches. I am not worried about this edge here because that's going to get hidden behind my circle. Okay, so I've got a lot of little pieces left over from the blue envelope. Hold on to those. We're going to use them for some more cards, so don't throw anything away quite yet. To make these cards, you're also going to need a couple pieces of cardstock from your stash, and they can really be any colors. I am using crushed curry because it goes really nicely with that bright yellow. And I've got 2 of those, 1 for each card. And then I also have a green card stock here because I wanted to add some leaves, and I'm going to die cut those from this Granny Apple Green cardstock. So I'm going to begin with this card. I'm going to start by removing the circle from this piece. And then I'm going to add the blue behind it. And I'm just going to do that with a little liquid glue in the corners. And then just place it right over making sure I don't see any of the blue coming out from the edge, just like that. And then I can add this to my card base with liquid glue. Right in the center of the card front. And then open that up and smooth it out. Okay. So you could use any die cuts, and I'm going to use the Love of Spring dies. It has this really great leaf. It also had love, a little daffodil, and then this really beautiful label. So that was something that coordinated with some paper pumpkin kits in the past. And so I thought that would be fun to be able to use that product as well with this card. So I'm going to cut 2 of these from this Granny Apple Green cardstock. So once you've cut out your 2 leaves, and again, you could use any leaf die, you're going to combine it with one of the Daisy die cuts from the kit. And I am also going to add a faux bow to the back of my flower. So I'm going to take a glue dot, place that in the middle of the flower, take 10 inches of linen thread, and place that on the back, just going across the flower. Let's just get something that looks like this, and then you will add a dimensional to the back of this to hold it in place. Maybe also add another 1 or 2 just to hold everything where it's supposed to be. I'm going to actually bring those 2 petals together and place one right back there. I think that's a good location for it. So take your leaves and you're going to create kind of a V shape along the edge of your circle. So one on the left. I guess it's more of an L shape. And then one on the right. And then you can pop your flower right in the center of those leaves. And you want your linen thread to go about the same direction as your, I'm going to do it this way, as your leaves. And the reason we're adding this first instead of stamping our greeting is so that we can know how much space we have for our greeting. And I'm going to stamp my greeting in Lost Lagoon, just the Stampin' Spot from the kit. And I'm going to use the Wishing You Brighter Days Ahead. And then you want to make sure that you don't have any ink along the outside because you don't want to get any ink on your flower here. And then you're just going to do your best to stamp that near your flower, nice and straight on your card. And then you're all done. Let's go ahead and do our second card in this set. We're going to use that circle that we punched out from the first card. You're going to flip it over and distress the edge a little bit. You could use your finger, bone folder, paper snips. You also don't have to do this step. If you would prefer to not distress it, you don't have to. Just like that. Let's add the background to our card base. Again, I'm using a card base of crushed curry. And place it right in the center. Then we're going to add our circle. And we want it just a little to the left and down from the middle, because when we add our accent piece, we want that also to kind of be centered. And just add a little liquid glue or whatever adhesive is your favorite. And then we're going to do some fun things to this little blue envelope piece. Let's begin by wrapping the top with some linen thread and tying a bow. So for the bow, I probably used about 8 inches. And then it's been wrapped twice. So that means 2, 4, and then double that. So another 8 inches. So probably about 16 inches or so of linen thread, and I'm going to smooth it out with between my fingers just so it's not super curly. I'm going to find the middle and place that where I want my bow. So just here on the top right corner. Take one side, wrap it around and hold it. Then take the other side, wrap it around and hold it. And then I'm going to tie a knot first. And that knot's just going to help me so I don't have to hold everything in place as I'm trying to tie my bow. Okay, so it's going to look something like that near the top. And then you can tie your bow on top of that knot. If one end's a little longer than the other, you can just trim it to kind of even it out a little bit. Cute little bow right there. Let's go ahead and add this to our circle with dimensionals. Again, if you'd like to use the strips, you can. Let's go ahead and use one of those. Just going to cut it in half, and actually a couple pieces. Let's place 2 pieces right over the linen thread. That's going to hold it in place so it doesn't come off of the card. And then this one can go down near the bottom. And then place that inside your circle so that it's about centered on your card. That looks good. And then we're going to add more fun things to this. In the kit, there is this tiny little daisy, and I'm going to pop that up right near this large leaf. It's going to make it look like there's a stem. Okay, we're also going to take one of the gold foil honeycomb, and I'm going to pop that on my card as well. Keep in mind that I'm not adding any adhesive to the gold foil honeycomb here. It's only going to stick with the adhesive from the other things I'm placing on top of it. And I'm also going to add one of these really cute butterflies from the kit. So let's do the die cut butterfly and the daisy. So I'm going to take my gold foil piece and add a dimensional over it so that it holds it in place. I'm going to do the same thing here for this one. So I've got 2. That should be enough to hold it. And then you're going to place your bee over the top one and your flower over the bottom one. I think that's so cute. And then we're going to cut a greeting. I like to use up as much of the contents in the kit as I can. And there's this little space here where I could use to cut a small little tag for my hello greeting. The little tag is a 1/2 inch by 1 inch. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with the 1/2 inch and then rotate that piece to 1 inch and cut. And I stamped the greeting in Lost Lagoon. And just a little hello. I think it's so cute. Just right in the center of that strip. And then on the left side, if you want, you can do a shallow fishtail banner. And then we're going to add that with a dimensional, or 2, however many you like to add. I'm going to do 2, I think. Grab my card and pop that in the bottom right corner of that little rectangle. And my card is all done. I love how cute all these little details kind of come together to make this really beautiful card. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me create these 2 fun cards today. If you're interested in getting your own Paper Pumpkin subscription, please use the link below to subscribe. If you would like to see written instructions or close-up images on how I created these cards, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.